Hi, I'm Jesse White, Illinois Secretary of State, and I want Marty Levinson to know that I'm cutting all the waste in the Secretary of State's office.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, please stay tuned to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet Hope, Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on.
Hi there, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Hi, everybody. Avi Myers here, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny and Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the World Wide Web at ntnm.org. You'll see a complete alphabetical listing of all the guests, chronological lists to past guests and past shows over the last 3 years and change, plus future and upcoming guests. You'll also find links to all of our shows on YouTube over that time period. And at this point, I've lost count, but it's way over 80,000. It's kind of hard to even count anymore, but thank you so much for watching, and we do appreciate. And the numbers keep growing all the time in a very nice fashion. That's, once again, ntnm.org. Community policing, we're very, very big on community policing, especially with all the changes going on in the neighborhood. We still don't have a police commander. That's still up in the air. There are a lot of developments in the neighborhood. If you're in the 24th District, which is basically West Rogers Park and Rogers Park, be aware that robberies and burglaries are up despite the fact that actual index crime is down 5%. There is more than that going on, but if you really want to be completely involved and find out what's going on, you need to come to the meetings. And if you go to caps24.org, you'll find a complete listing for West Rogers Park and Rogers Park. Citywide, call 311 to find out where the CAPS meeting near you is. Of course, Sonny Hirsch is the chairman of the District Advisory Committee of the 24th District. He was given a big citywide award in the last month, and he actually spent the last week in Quantico being with FBI training and also getting some CIA briefing, which I hope doesn't get him in a lot of trouble for me saying that in public. But it was rare stuff, and it was very good, and we want to congratulate him on being accorded that honor. It is a very special day today because we have one of my favorite guests, somebody who is, even though he hasn't been on the show in about a year, and we're getting watched more and more, he's still in the top 20 for most watched shows, and that is the Secretary of State of the state of Illinois, as well as the head of the Jesse White tumbling team, Secretary of State Jesse White. How are you today?
I'd be glad to be on board.
First of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to see you. I had the pleasure of actually seeing you at the Illinois State Crime Commission banquet, where you brought in the colors and all that.
Yes.
And that was one big flag.
Well, what happened was the base was still attached to the pole. And so in order to move the flag from point A to point B, I had to handle the pole and the stand and the flag all at the same time.
That was one big load. I got to say, I was...
It was, from the distance at which I had to walk, it was quite a task. But
yeah. Good exercise.
It turned out fine.
Well, I would think from the tumbling team you get, you may not be able to do all the moves anymore.
No, but I still do a few things within the tumbling team program. And, I've been around for exactly 50 years with that program.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
It looks like in February we're going to celebrate our 50th anniversary of the Jesse White tumbling team.
Yeah. Do you have anything special planned, or it's still in the works right now?
It's going to be a big celebration at the United Center.
Ah.
And we expect to have a large amount of people coming in to help celebrate with us. And we've had over 11,500 young people to come through the program within the 49-year period of time.
Wow.
And to our knowledge, only 99 have gotten themselves in trouble with the law.
Wow.
To combat juvenile delinquency.
Out of 11,500, that's an awfully good percentage.
Strict rules and regulations, tough love, will carry us far.
Wow, one thing for sure is it's a precision team. You have to have discipline to execute those moves.
No drinking, smoking, swearing, dropping out of school, or disliking anyone because of race, creed, or color is tolerated. And of course, there's this big, wide, wonderful world out there. And we want to give these young people the tools that are necessary for them to grow tall and straight.
No, that sounds great. And how many different teams do you have going right now?
I have 11. I have one team, one unit. Well, actually, let me put it like this. we have 250 young people who make up the team.
Wow.
And we've divided the team into 6 units. And so we'll do 1,500 shows this year. We're the premier halftime for the NBA. And a few weeks ago, we had the great pleasure of performing at halftime for the Bears. And we also performed for the Chicago Fire last week.
That's great.
And then I've taken these young people to China, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Japan on 3 occasions for Nippon Television, Honolulu, Hawaii, Honokai, Hawaii, 17 times to Canada, twice to Bermuda, and once to the Cayman Islands. And then we've been involved with the making of 3 movies and 25 commercials.
That's great. That really is. And you know what, I would say I remember the early days, but my early days, you already were doing it 30 years.
That's right. That's right.
And by the way, I am older than that. It just took me a while before I saw the team. But no, I remember the first time I saw the team, it was like, wow. And a lot of you know, it's like every time you're appearing someplace local and there's a buzz all around it and people are excited to see it.
Yeah, just glad to get these young people out of their immediate environment so they can get a chance to see the world and, of course, acquire a love in their heart for their fellow man and woman, and to become better educated and better informed. Stay away from gangs and drugs and those negative aspects of life, and when it happens, we in society are the winners.
And a lot of the people, this originally started around the Cabrini Green area, if I'm not mistaken.
I started it at the Rockwell Garden Housing Project, and then I later moved it over to Cabrini Green, and now most of the kids don't live in the housing projects anymore. They represent about 11 cities around the Chicagoland area.
Wow. Well, actually, a lot of the housing projects have been dismantled.
Yes, they have. But still, with our 250 young people on the team, we probably have about 11 complete families. And then with about the 400 young people in training, we probably have about 23 or 24 complete families. And so this program serves as the light at the end of the tunnel, the safety net for a lot of individuals. And we want to make sure that we give them an opportunity to use idle time in a positive way. And when that happens, we in society are the winners.
No, absolutely. And with 1,500 events a year, that's even if the 20 teams are dividing it equally, which whatever, that would still be 75 each a year.
Sure, but we also turn down over 300 requests. We cannot put them into our schedule.
Wow. I think that's terrific, and I'm glad. I'm really glad people appreciate it so much because it really is a spectacle and a good spectacle. So if any of you have a chance and haven't seen the Jesse White tumbling team, you're really missing a bet.
I forgot to tell you too, Avi, that out of our 250 young people, we have 22 young people we've sent off to college a couple weeks ago. You can be a good athlete once you be a good student and a good human being.
Wow, very impressive. Very impressive. Anyway, we have to talk. It's something we have to talk about. But you know what? You right now, I guess you're 11 years as Secretary of State?
11 years. I came on board in 1999, and I committed myself then to run the office like it is a business, restoring some integrity to it, and put it in a posture by which the people could be proud. And we're proud of the fact that when I came to this office, I should be proud of it. It was a negative thing that I inherited. It
yes.
was under a cloud of controversy. And I then told my employees that they will not have to sell fundraising tickets anymore, buy fundraising tickets, or do political work, because I believe if you're doing a good enough job, there are enough people of goodwill out there who will help you to get the funds that you need in order to become competitive in your next election. And so we're proud of the fact that no longer do the people who are our customers who need the services of the Secretary of State's office will no longer have to bring their sleeping bag or the lunch pail. We want to take care of their business in a timely manner and in a highly professional way. We want our staff to treat the people the way they like to be treated.
And unlike Paul Powell, your shoe boxes would have shoes in them.
I don't buy shoes in boxes anymore.
Oh, come to think of it. Oh, interesting.
I know the story. I know the story very well.
Very famous story, and but in any event, no, there's no question. There's such a difference. I know that I've heard enough stories about people in the old days, whether it was taking a driver's test or some other function, and the things that would be involved that weren't always run. You run, as a matter of fact, this week's show, next week's show, we've got somebody else who's run a pretty open office overall, Terry O'Brien. But there are people in government, thank God, in this state that really believe strongly in running open, honest things. And it's not just a matter, first of all, it's so commendable because you still see in the paper even today that people, try to require their employees to kick in and all the rest of it. But you've also put in a lot of innovations. into the office?
Sure. In closing,
I'm sorry.
we will not allow any of our employees, significant other, the husband or the wife, to donate any funds to my office. I think that's a backdoor way of still participating in the process.
So none of your employees are allowed to contribute?
None of my employees are
And
allowed
that's
to
quite a
contribute.
few.
And then
Yeah.
their husband or their wife, their significant other, cannot participate in this program.
How many employees are there in the Secretary of
I
State's
run
office?
the largest Secretary of State office in the United States. I have 4,000 employees, a $390 million budget, and 130 offices where people can come to get their driver's license, sticker, state ID. I'm also the head librarian for the state of Illinois.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I have 5,000 libraries that come out of my jurisdiction. We distribute about $77 million a year in support of the libraries. I'm also in charge of the literacy program.
By the way, we need a bigger library here, but I'll bother you about that.
Well, I think Mary Dempsey is the lady who you'll have to approach, and then she'll talk with us as well as the mayor. And so when you have 205 agencies who have a mission of teaching English as a second language, helping individuals to get their GED, and to put them in a posture by which they can become better educated and better informed, that is a function of the literacy program. And then I'm also in charge of the organ and tissue donor program, which is the largest of its kind in the nation. 6.4 million people have signed to become organ donors.
Wow.
However, there are 5,000 people on the waiting list as we speak, and each year 300 people die because organs have not arrived in a timely manner. We ask that when you're alive and well, give blood. When you're no longer here, give organs. And when you've done those two things, we've made a positive impact upon society.
I know you're big on that. And by the way, I know somebody watching the show, Jim, is on a waiting list right now. And Jim, I hope by the time the show airs that you've already been taken care of.
That's wonderful. We also have brought into play a new program that I should share with your viewing audience, and that is the Emergency Contact Database. Many times when an individual is involved with an accident, law enforcement or first responders know who you are because you probably have your wallet on you with your driver's license or your Social Security, not Social Security, but your state ID. And but then they want to be able to contact your next of kin, and they may not have the information that is necessary. So with our new emergency contact database, you can go on our website at www.cyberdriveillinois.com, www.cyberdriveillinois.com, and go to the section where it says emergency contact database, and then the screen will come up with two spaces where you can insert the names of the two people whom you'd like to be contacted in case there's a problem with you. The other thing that we're doing too that maybe you should know about, and that is, as of January 1, 2010, you will no longer be able to text while driving anywhere in the state of Illinois. You get caught texting, then it's a $75 to $150 fine, and it's a punch on your license. And you will no longer, as of January 1, be allowed to go to a school zone or a construction zone talking on your cell phone. The young people in our schools who want to live a long and productive life, they want to be able to become better educated and better informed. And many times when kids are out playing on school grounds, they wander off into the streets. And we just want to make sure that if you are driving in the school zone, that your eyes and your mind is on driving the car.
That's even with these earpieces that people have?
They can use the earpieces, but we believe that when you take your eyes off the road and look down to dial in a number within that split second of time, difficult, strange things can happen. And the same thing holds true with the construction zone. Will not be able to talk on the cell phone or dial in on a cell phone or have a cell phone up to your ears while you're driving in that area. The construction workers want to make our roads safe so you can get from point A to point B safely. But then they too want to be able to get back home to their loved ones or to their next of kin. And we don't want them to be in harm's way. So you will no longer be able to use your cell phone in a school zone or in the construction zone. Otherwise, it's a $75 fine up to a $150 fine. The other thing that most of your viewing audience don't know, and that is, it's against the law to toss debris from your car. It's a $1,500 fine if they catch you tossing debris from your automobile.
Wow. Now, this is statewide?
Statewide. It's been on the books for a long time, and I think you can also go to jail for a year. And then for the second offense, I think it's $2,500 and you go to jail for a 2-year period of time.
No.
Most people don't know that.
I had no idea. No, this is state highways? This is anywhere in the state?
Anywhere you get caught tossing debris out from your automobile. In Wisconsin, I think it's a tremendous fine if you get caught tossing a cigarette butt out your window.
Wow, so if I see somebody throwing like a beer bottle or a wine bottle out of his car, which I happened to see walking out of synagogue a few days ago.
Yeah, I think you get the license plate number and call in to the Secretary of State's office and we'll get behind it.
Great. I will.
It's called tough love, Avi.
But you know what, that's appropriate.
And keeping America clean.
I like the clean part, as a matter of fact. I even got on my own alderman last time he was on the show about we need cleanliness.
Oh, sure.
Cleanliness is important, that's for sure. You know what? One of the things people don't realize is I remember when you first came into office, you were just beginning to. The computer age really wasn't even starting for government. You basically were at the forefront in the office of doing things.
If you were to go onto our website www.cyberdriveillinois.com, you will find probably the finest database ever conceived and produced by a man or woman. We have received national and international praise because of the beauty of what we were able to do within our system. We can do everything but deal cards. And we use technology to help individuals to renew their driver's license, to get a sticker. And by the way, the stickers that you have on your automobiles are made in a town called Freeburg, Illinois by disabled people.
Oh, wow.
And then the license plates are made in Decatur, Illinois by disabled people. And now when you look at your sticker will match your license plate number. So you don't have to worry about someone taking your sticker off your car anymore.
Oh,
because the sticker and the license plate match. There's something else that we're doing too that you should know about. We had problems with individuals, especially our young children, going into bars, buying alcohol, buying cigarettes. And so we decided that we have to become more sophisticated. So if you see a young person's license or state ID that looks like this, vertical,
Yeah.
it means that they're under the age of 21.
Oh.
Then when they get to be the age of 21, then it looks like your license and mine is horizontal.
So people can tell.
Just by looking at the shape of the license, or by the the shape of the ID,
That's
you know
creative.
the person is underage. So we want to worry about young people getting into the bars and getting into the clubs,
Yeah, you've
doctoring
always
up.
got some good creative stuff. I like that.
Well, whenever I go before the Illinois General Assembly seeking support for my budget, they call me the idea man. They say, "Here's the idea man again." So we're concerned about good government running the office like it should be run.
You know, actually, I wanted to thank you for something because when you were here last time, I didn't ask you the question on the air, but I had a situation, and I wish I remembered the name of the guy who helped me in your office. So whoever you are, you know, like if you remember, thank you. But I got my last car, and actually people who watch the show know now I'm like carless. My car broke down. I started walking. It's been 3.5 years. I lost 45 pounds. My doctor likes my numbers more and more each year. I walk 17 blocks to my doctor and go up 3 flights of stairs.
I hope you like those numbers too.
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. So no, I'm very happy. I have more energy. I feel better. So okay, I don't have the car now with the problem, except like where am I going to find a car next year when I need to renew my driver's license? But anyway, I'll just steal one from somebody. I'm not, no. I wouldn't do that. People know on the show I've got a sense of humor about these things. But what I wanted to tell you what happened is after my car already became a Campbell's can of soup. You know, the transmission blew, so the junkyard called. I get a notice from the city of Evanston. And it's like, you owe us money for a ticket. And I didn't remember getting a ticket in Evanston. Evanston is next door, so it's possible. Then I take a look, and it's not a license plate I had. It turns out it was the previous owner of the car.
Oh.
And he had the car this was about 7 or 8 months before I had the car. I had the car for about 3 years. And he got a couple of tickets he never paid. And they hired a company to come in Evanston and audit the tickets and try to get the money back. And basically I called him up and said, you know, it wasn't my car. And they said, well, you'll have to prove it. I said, what? I said, I didn't own the car then. And they told me that I was going to have to find some kind of document that showed, when I got the car and all the rest of it. So as a matter of fact, through your help and your office's help, I was able to get what I needed from to be able to show the people at Evanston, but they would have basically put me up for like $150, $200.
What about the license plate number?
Oh, the license plate number, that I was able to give them. That I had, but they needed more than that. They apparently, now I hope they've changed and updated a little bit, but Evanston, I used to have my business in Evanston. Evanston's a very interesting city. And sometimes interesting good, sometimes interesting bad, but always interesting different.
Well, I'm glad that you received the services that
your office was great.
You need and deserve.
No, thank you. And no, it was a pleasure to deal with, and everything was upfront, above board, and very easy to deal with. And thank you.
Thank you.
Now you got some more good stuff coming.
We have a lot of things on our plate that we're working with right now, and of course we are constantly encouraging people who have those disability placards to make sure that those placards remain in their care. We have 3 kinds of placards for people who are disabled. The blue, you are permanently disabled. The red, you are temporarily disabled. And the green placard means that you are a transporter of people who are disabled. And we punch holes into the material, and then we've given that document an identification number, which is the equivalent of an ID number. And here's a 26-year-old young man who's parking in downtown Evanston. And the officer asks, young man, may I see your license? Oh, you're 26 years of age. Yes, officer. He says, that's your placard? Yes, officer, that's my placard. He says, well, we have a little problem here, young man, because the owner of the placard is 95 years of age, and that person happens to be a female. I think we have a little problem here. We have raised the fine from $150 up to $500 for the first offense. Second offense is $750, and you lose your license for 6 months. Third offense, $1,000 fine, and you lose your license for a 1-year period of time. I believe it's a violation of all laws of human decency for you to be able-bodied, but yet you want to take advantage of a program that has been set aside for those who are truly disabled. So we're involved with what is called tough love.
Very good. Yeah, that I want to tell you that's literally criminal that somebody handicapped. If that 95-year-old person really needed that space, that's a horrible thing.
We also have one more. Got a second?
Sure.
We have put in place this year a program called the BAID device, BAID, Breath Alcohol Ignition Interlock Device, which means that if you get a ticket for DUI and you still want to be able to drive, you will petition our office to allow the placing of the BAID device in your automobile. It is a system by which you blow into the tube. If alcohol is detected, then the car won't start. Right now we have a little bit more than 4,000 people in the system. We expect to have maybe between 35 and 40,000 by this time next year, because there are a lot of people who are using gas and alcohol, and of course those two substances should not ever meet. I was at a school not long ago, and I was talking about this program, and then the young lady asked the question, Mr. Secretary, if he can't blow into the tube successfully, can't I? And I said, yes, you can. I said, but you're looking at a 1-year period of time in jail. I said, it also should send you a message that you're at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person at the wheel. If he cannot blow into it successfully, you should not be in the automobile with that individual.
Good point. Now, how does that mean forever, the person ever since?
No. I mean, very good question. It could be for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year. But it's about $1,500 a year in order to have it installed. But the other side of the coin is this. When you get a DUI, it's an expensive operation. It could cost you up to about $12,000 in order to get your license back. I take away over 1,500. Better yet, I forgot the number. It's not 1,500. It's about 900,000 driver's licenses a year for individuals who get themselves into trouble with the law. For example, if you don't pay your parking tickets, or you go through the toll booth without paying, you didn't get your automobile insurance, deadbeat dads don't drive, didn't pay child support, have proven not to be a good driver, received DUI, 8 DUI or more. And then you went to the gas station and you got gas and you didn't pay for it. The list goes on and on. And then for
that's interesting. That I know the gas station.
Yeah, then for our young drivers, nighttime restriction, they can only drive up to 11 o'clock at night on weekends and 10 o'clock at night during the week. You can only have one unrelated person in the car with them for a 1 year period of time. And then if they get involved with what's called street racing, they lose their license, they go to jail, and the car is impounded. So these are some of the reasons as to why we take over 900,000 driver's licenses a year.
How many driver's licenses are there in the state of Illinois?
We're probably about 13 million, somewhere 12 million.
Wow.
About 12 million.
So just about everybody's got one.
Yes. Yes. And some have CDL, the commercial driver's license. You drive truck too.
They would have commercial and a residential?
And then the motorcycle too.
So yeah, that's right. I remember the one time I was on a motorcycle, the policeman did inform me that I didn't have a license for it. But he was doing that in the emergency room at the time. So I never did get on another motorcycle.
Yeah.
But you know what? We've got about 3 minutes left here. Are you running for re-election?
I'm running for re-election. I've served as a lawmaker for 16 years. In the most diverse district in the nation, Lincoln Park, the Paul River North, Streeterville, the Gold Coast area, the Magnificent Mile, Cabrini Green, and River North. And then 6 years as a Cook County Recorder of Deeds, representing the second most populous or second largest county in the country. And then 11 years in this office as the Secretary of State. And I'm going to run one more time, and then I'll ride out off into the sunset and commit myself to community service as a volunteer. I believe that when you come through this world and you get it, you give it back. And so I'm going to work as a volunteer after I've left the office of the Secretary of State.
Can I ask how old you are right now?
Yeah, I'm 75 years of age, a youthful 75.
Wow, I didn't think so. I knew you were a senior citizen, but I was thinking 68. No, listen, I got to say that it speaks about, the kind of shape you're in and your mental acuity speaks volumes about your lifestyle. It really does.
Well, thank you. I believe in exercise, good food, and I don't get a whole lot of rest because I go to bed at 2 o'clock every night, get up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I think that's primarily because of my military background.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you. But then, Tumblers, I'm with them almost every day of the year, or involved with the program every day of the year.
Yeah.
Because we want to give our young people a chance to become productive citizens in our society.
Yeah, very good. So is anybody actually running against you?
There's a fellow, they tell me, from Aurora, Illinois. Aurora is the second largest city in the state of Illinois. And this fellow, I think, was born in Honduras, served in the military, and is a businessman. That's all I know about him.
Republican? Or?
Republican. He was going to run against Mark Kirk, but the Republicans had a meeting in Springfield, and they convinced him not to run against Mark Kirk in the primary, but he should run against me in the general election.
Yeah, they at least like to put somebody up even if they don't have a chance.
So you have to have someone there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but nothing from the Democratic side, I assume.
No, none whatsoever. I think that it's going to be an interesting election. I encourage the people within your viewing audience to get registered to vote and come out and discharge your civic responsibilities, because if you don't vote, you lose your gripe rights, cannot complain about anything in society. The air that you breathe, the streets that you walk on, the food that you eat, the medicine that you use, someone in government has had something to say about the rules, the regulations, and the guidelines. And it's important for you to make sure that you know who your elected officials are, communicate with them, and if they don't do what you think they should do, then you put yourself in a posture by which you can vote against them.
Absolutely. We're running out of time right now. I also want to mention real quick that Jewish Chicago this year is going to be coming out just before early voting, so as opposed to like right at the beginning, because all the judicial candidates. But I want to thank you very much, my Secretary of State, Jesse White. It's always a privilege to have you here.
I mean, good to see you.
First of all, my pleasure. Thank you. And I want to thank Dave Drucker. And I forgot your name. There's another gentleman here from the Secretary of State's office who's actually taller than I am. For those of you who are, I'm 6'4", just so you know. I always slouch to meet the height. It works out for TV. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hirsch. Check us out next week. Terry O'Brien is our guest. Thanks, everybody. All the best. Bye-bye.